There have actually been many times in my business where I have wanted to quit and give it all up. And that might come as a surprise because I feel like it's something I don't talk about a lot, but it's true. And I think as someone who's been in business for 10 years, you realize you go through seasons of where you're like, I want to give all of this up. I am so done. What did I get myself into? And you really want to throw in the towel. But even going through those types of things multiple times in my years of business, what has kept me going? When back in 2021, I remember having a negative cash month, losing thousands of dollars in an investment I had made for my business, and just really feeling discouraged and I had no direction. I felt like I was lost. I didn't know where I was going. I kind of just wanted to give it all up. What has truly kept me going in those moments? What has made the difference? What do I come back to over and over? What makes me keep going? What makes me be resilient and not give it up? Number one is shifting my mindset into almost being a little delusional and believing in myself. Back in 2020, when I launched my first online course, I remember I went into that being so delusional. I truly believed, I'm this is the best course ever. Everyone should have this. In my mind, I was I am showing up. I went all out on that first course launch. It was the best thing I'd ever created and that every single person should want it. That's something I have even come back to in 2025 this year, because it can be easy as you go further and further in business. Now, that was 5 years ago. That was when I was first starting in the online business world. And it can be easy for me to think I should not have to try that hard anymore. I should be able to just easily do stuff and just have things grow. And it's kind of been a humbling experience of realizing that's not how it works. And also you going back to that mindset of truly having such a strong belief that you're the best option for your person and not wavering on that. That's what I come back to, is that almost delusional belief in myself and what I have to offer, and that is the best thing in the world. And that keeps me going. The second thing is that I have this deeply rooted belief that I know that God created me and put me on this earth with certain gifts, certain talents, certain ways of just speaking into people's lives in a certain way, the right people, my people, and that why would I waste that? Why would I question that? Why would I sit around and think, oh, this is too hard, I just want to quit? That is not stepping into what God has called me to do, what He's created me to do, the things that He's given me to show up in my business. And not stepping into that is not stepping into my calling that I know that He's brought me to, right? And so that's the second thing that keeps me going, is coming back to that belief of wait, I was created for this, and having full confidence in that and keeping going because of that, right? Okay, the third one here is surrounding yourself with other women who are also doing the thing and who can cheer you on in the process. I have had seasons where I look back, I've had incredible women that I've built relationships with, and this has come from being in masterminds or connecting with other women locally who are in similar stages of business as me or doing similar things to me, and that has been such a gift to me, and something that in a room where, in a space where there's no jealousy involved, there's no you share your win and you feel you have to downplay it because of the people you're sharing it with. You can truly show up and share the things that you're excited about, that you're working on, and know that they're not sitting there silently being jealous or judging you, or they're truly in your corner to cheer you on. And that kind of support and that kind of just women in my corner has been a game changer for me, and just keeping going. And also seeing the women around me, when they are growing and succeeding, I'm man, that is so powerful. That is so amazing that they are doing these big things, and it's only inspiring to me that if she can do it, then I can do it too. And that really helps to keep me going and making sure I have that community around me. The next one here is looking at my actual stats. It can be easy to try to base things off of feeling, okay? And if you've been in business longer like I have, you know that there's seasons where you're this is all going amazing. And then there's seasons where you're I'm drowning and I don't know what's happening. And what I always challenge myself when I have those feelings of I just want to quit, I want to give it all up, I actually look at the stats. I'm okay, let's look at actually what's happening instead of just basing it on my feeling. And what I've realized is that a lot of times my feelings aren't even the truth of what's happening. And this is looking at things like, what's my revenue? What's my profit? What are my expenses? How much time am I actually spending in my business? What are my platform stats actually telling me? And there can be months where I'm like, I feel like I am not doing well in my business. And yet I look at those types of stats and I'm like, actually, this is one of my best months in a long time, revenue wise or profit wise. And I should be really proud of that. And so I do think it's really important to bring it back to when you have these feelings of wanting to quit and let it all go, like come back to, okay, but what's actually tangibly happening here, and root yourself in that a little bit and make decisions more based off of that and not just how you're feeling in the moment. That has honestly helped me so much, especially in those moments where I'm spiraling and feeling like nothing's working, I'm not going to be successful, like whatever that means. Coming back to those things and be like, oh, okay, like if we're going to base this in fact, my feelings about it aren't necessarily correlating with like the actual facts here, and that can be so incredibly powerful. Next one here that has kept me going is simply unwavering dedication. At the end of the day, like business is hard. It's not easy. That's why so many business owners give up. There's some statistic about a lot of business owners give up by year 5. Like a lot of people don't make it past that year because it is so much about resilience and dedication and to keep going even when things are hard. And it's not if your business is hard, but when it's going to be hard. It's not if you have a dip in revenue, but it's when you have a dip in revenue. It's not if you go through something really challenging, like you're getting canceled or you have a client who's really unhappy or you're having a tough time with your team. Like it's not if that's going to happen, it's when it's going to happen and what you do when those things happen. You and I both know, like running a business, it's not luck, it's commitment, right? It is commitment to something bigger than yourself, to believe in your vision and believe in yourself and where you're going and what God has called you to do. And it's so funny when people say like, oh, you're so lucky to have a business and to get to be at home with your kids and that your husband's at home. But it's so funny when I hear that, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking like what my luck has actually looked like. It's been 10 years of going all in on my business, really. It's been things like back when I did a lot of client work, I got threatened to be sued over the phone. I have had troll comments like telling me I have a pig nose, or I had like a meeting with a potential client and they told me I was too young to work with. When I look at my platform stats, I've made over 300 YouTube videos, over 100 podcast episodes, over 2,500 Instagram posts, thousands of emails that I've sent to my email list. Like it's not just luck. These are the types of things that it takes to be dedicated, to keep going in your business. It's not easy. And I often think like if we knew what we were getting ourselves into before we started a business, we probably wouldn't do it. But there's something so magical and exhilarating running an online business, and the lifestyle, at least for me, the lifestyle that it's created for my family, that it makes all of those things worth it. Yes, it's still going to be hard. There's still seasons that are really tough where it feels like I'm trying all these different things. I'm really throwing myself into my business and it actually feels like it's not working and nothing is taking off. But I know that that means that breakthrough is coming, where I feel like my business is the hardest, where it feels so tough, where I've tried so many things. Like when I flip that mindset and go back to like that full belief in myself and keep moving forward and move forward with excitement, that's when things start to really change for me and my business really does start to take off. So I just want you to know that if you've had those moments, or if you're in a moment right now where you really feel like you want to quit and give up, I want to encourage you that we all feel that way. Even the people, like every single business owner you see on Instagram or online that you follow, like we all go through these seasons. The longer you've been in business, the more that you go through these. And so you're not alone. And really being an entrepreneur is so much about dedication and not giving up and believing in yourself, even if no one else does. And just know that I'm here for you. We're cheering for you always. And I will see you again in next week's video on Tuesday. Bye guys.